right, we are back doing the Eastern Conference standings predictions for this upcoming NBA season. So I got the tier list template. We got bad, play-in, and then I'll be predicting the 1 through 6 seeds. I've got nothing else to say, let's get into it. Bottom tier, just the bad teams that aren't making the play-in. Now, not all the teams in this tier are necessarily awful to watch. In fact, some of them might even be pretty entertaining, but nonetheless, they have to go in the bad tier if they're not making the play-in. At the very bottom, though, this is a legitimately bad team. We're going with the Bucks. They just traded Giannis. Things are not looking good in Milwaukee. Their number one option is probably going to be Tyler Hero, and that is not going to be fun hoops to watch. So definitely the worst team in the conference, maybe even the worst team in the entire NBA. But yeah, the Bucks easily are in the bad tier. By the way, we're not going in order of how they appear on the screen. I have a secret list off camera that I'm using. All right, the Nets. Should I put these in order of how bad they are? I think so. So the Nets go above the Bucks. They're not in a much better situation. I just think the roster is a little bit more equipped to play in the modern NBA. They do have players that can actually try to get you wins and are good offensive options. Michael Porter Jr. is one of the best bucket getters in the NBA, a 6'10", three-point sniper, and you got Julius Randle to probably be your primary ball handler. And now that doesn't sound great, because it's not, but there's still some merit to watching this team. They'll probably have some fun nights, and since the worst teams in the league will still be competing for a draft position, you know, the Nets will be a decent team to watch for all 82 games. Will they be the most fun? No. Will they win a lot of games? No, but they will have some players that can go get stuff done. I love the Mikal Brown draft pick. I think he'll be really good for them, and they got to figure out the situation with the 5 rookies they drafted last year, see who really fits on that roster. But this is just another year the Nets have to figure out who's going to be in this core moving forward, but they also have Julius Randle now to run the show. So yeah, still pretty bad team. I don't think they'll even really come close to a play-in spot. Next, I got the Bulls. Now again, I'm not saying they won't be a fun watch, because this is a young and exciting team, and Caleb Wilson will probably end up being one of the guys in consideration for the Rookie of the Year, and he'll be a really fun guy to watch. You got more development from Buzelis. They just signed Norman Powell. Still got Josh Giddey. He doesn't belong with those guys. But yeah, this will be a fun Bulls team. Now they finally have some sense of direction, where they're building for the future. They might even have a franchise guy to build around. Things are looking good for Chicago. They won't be a play-in team, but they're actually building somewhere. All right, next up we got the Wizards. They'll probably be closer to making a play-in, and they might even prove me wrong and do it. They just got the first pick and drafted DeBonsta, who I think will have a great rookie season. But when you're depending on Trey and AD, who are taking over $100 million of your salary cap next season, when you're counting on them to get you wins and stay on the court for you, there's really a hard cap ceiling on how good your team can be. It's really all on the young guys to take this team to the play-in, because outside of the 2 veterans, this is really a super young team. And so if they're ready to make a push, the Wizards could do it. I just have no faith in their dynamic duo to get it done, which is why I still have the Wizards in the bad tier. My last team in the bad tier, the Charlotte Hornets. I'm sad to put them here. I was never a big Hornets fan, but the end of last season was so fun to watch. They almost made a push to the playoffs, but unfortunately lost to the Magic in the final play-in game. So I thought they had a lot of momentum to at least be a play-in team next season. Then, as everyone knows, they trade LaMelo Ball, and while they might be pretty close to as good as they were the second half of last season, I just think the East is so much better now, and arguably becoming a worse team from last season to this season isn't going to get them into the play-in tier. So while they'll still be a good and probably pretty fun team to watch, the Hornets are still not a play-in team. All right, now we're in the play-in tier. First team in here, the Magic. This is still a pretty talented team, and they even took my Pistons to 7 games in the playoffs. but I still think there's some kinks to work out in this Magic roster that I think will ultimately lead them to somewhat blowing the team up and trading one of their 2 star forwards. Whether it's Franz or Paolo, I don't know, but I just don't think that duo works well together. I think Desmond Bane was a great addition, but really the problem is that their best 2 players are never going to fit together super great on the floor, and we'll see that throughout this season. I think they're still talented enough to make the play-in because they do play with a really high defensive intensity. I just think it's so clunky on offense that it's really going to be hard for them to get anywhere above this play-in team, especially in today's Eastern Conference. Now, this whole team could stay healthy and they could play really well, because last season Franz only played about 35 games, I want to say. So yeah, maybe he stays healthy and they prove to be a good duo, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Paolo is very limited as a player and has some pretty bad shot-taking tendencies. So until they work that out or one of them gets traded for a pretty substantial package, I think the Magic ceiling is right about this play-in tier. All right, next up we got the Cavs. Now, if you've watched my bold predictions video, you'll see how I feel about this upcoming season for the Cavs. I don't know, I can't explain it. I just think the vibes in Cleveland are off. I think they've had rough playoff exits the last couple years. And I think running it back with relatively the same group for another season is just not going to get them as high as it has in years past. I'll keep saying this over and over again in this video. This is one of the better Eastern Conferences we've seen. And there's only so much room for all these teams. Everyone else in the East has seemed to get better, while the Cavs have stayed stagnant. I think it's going to be a rough year for Cavs fans, and maybe they'll bounce back next season. But yeah, at least for this upcoming season, I don't know. I just feel like the Cavs are going to be a play-in team. And we still haven't figured out what's going on with James Harden. So yeah, as of mid-August, I think the Cavs are a play-in team. All right, up next we got the Pacers. And I know, just 2 seasons ago, they were in the NBA Finals, 1 game away from a championship. And then Tyrese Halliburton tears his Achilles. So now that he's back, they should be running the East, right? I just don't think so. I think with Achilles tears, especially for a high-energy, athletic, quick guard, it's going to take some time for him to really get a lot of his game back, to trust his body. We saw Tatum come back pretty well from his Achilles tear last season, but still, there are moments where you can obviously tell he hurt himself pretty bad. This Pacers team is a little bit different from the one that made the finals. I think they're still a great team and will be pretty dangerous come playoff time. But for the 82-game season as a whole, I think there's going to be some learning curves and growth that has to happen for this team, and it is going to reflect in the standings, and they'll only make the play-in. All right, then we got the Heat. Now, they did trade for Giannis, so this could be kind of a hot take that they're still a play-in team, because they were pretty good last season. And now you're adding a top 5 player into that roster. How could they be a play-in team? I just think Giannis is getting to the point where he can't stay super healthy throughout an entire season. I know last season was kind of a different circumstance. The Bucks were bad and they were trying to trade him and they wanted to keep him healthy for a potential trade, so he only played like 30 games. But still, he hasn't been healthy for a playoff run in years, and I think he's starting to get to the point in his career where he can't play more than 50 or 60 games. And with a Heat roster outside of Giannis that is still pretty mediocre, I think when he misses time, it's going to be hard for them to win games. And even when he does play, the fit between him and Bam, is that really a team that's going to take the league by storm? I just don't know. That's going to be a weird play style. So I think they're still a good team because they have Giannis, top 5 player, but I don't think they'll be able to crack the top 6 in this improved Eastern Conference. All right, now we're in the top 6 seeds. This is where it starts to get pretty crazy. So stay tuned for all this. The 6th seed, we have the Raptors. Now, this is if the Kawhi trade goes through and they can keep him on the roster. So I know they're still investigating the Clippers scandal as of right now. But yeah, I'm assuming the Raptors have Kawhi. Even if they don't end up getting him, I think this Raptors team is still pretty good. If they don't have Kawhi, they might be bumped down to the play-in, and if so, I would put the Heat in their spot. But I think this is a pretty good spot for Toronto. They had a great season last year, and they have high-energy young guys that want to play defense, and they're led by Scotty Barnes, who's a do-it-all forward who I've talked about in videos in the past, how I think he's a top 10 player. And I think he will continue to lead this Raptors team to be at least a above average team. And I think adding Kawhi to a group that almost made the second round last year without him, I think for sure this is a top 6 team. They'll have a great defense. They'll have improvements from their young guys. And adding Kawhi's shot making to a team that desperately needed it last season is going to be so good for them. So yeah, top 6 seed easily if they can acquire Kawhi. All right, in the 5th seed, I've got the Hawks. They were the only team in the playoffs last year that took more than a game off the Knicks. And they're going to be a really deep team. They don't have like a number one guy that is so crazy good, but Jalen Johnson, he's a stud. He was an All-NBA player. I think he made the All-Star team. I'd say he's almost a top 30 player, but they just have so many guys on that team that can go get you a bucket and play defense. This is a team that goes like 10 or 11 guys deep. I think for sure they can be a top 5 seed. I would say they're one of the most improved teams of the offseason, and throughout an entire 82-game season, when you can run out 10, 11, 12 guys in a rotation, it keeps your whole team fresh and rested. And even when you have injuries, you have the next man up thing. So, yeah, the Hawks will be really good. They'll be able to power through this season with an improved group. All right, in the 4th seed, I got my Pistons. I wish I could say they could be the 1 seed again because they just won 60 games, but I don't know. I think the team got worse trading away Stewart. I have no idea what's going on with Jalen Duren. I think we're going to keep him. He'll be on the roster next year. On what contract, I'm not sure. But I think this Pistons team has been figured out. You know, they play hard. Everyone knows that now. They play with playoff intensity during the regular season, which is always going to get you a ton of wins. But I think teams have figured that out now. And with other teams in the East getting a lot better, I think the Pistons really have no option but to slide down the standings. I think this is still a 50-win team for sure. But yeah, getting the 1 seed is going to be a lot more challenging this year. And they didn't get Cade any ball handling help, so I think it's going to be hard for them to really improve. And I definitely see this team regressing in the win column. Now, I am excited to see how they do with an improved shooting core around Cade. I think the offense will be a lot more fun to watch. But yeah, like I said, with no ball handling help for Cade, yeah, it's still going to be rough first option hoops for him. 4th seed, I think, is the best outcome for the Pistons. The Celtics at 3. I was kind of debating swapping the Celtics and the Pistons just because Celtics obviously make that Jaylen Brown trade where they swap him for Paul George, but you are getting a full offseason of recovery and working out for Jason Tatum, which he didn't get last year because he was rehabbing his Achilles tear. So I think the Jason Tatum first option hoops will be a lot better. And Paul George as like a catch and shoot 3-and-D guy, even at age like 36, I think in that role he'll really excel. He won't be worth almost $40 million, but he'll be great for the Celtics team. And they showed last season that they really don't need too much star power to get the job done. They won 55 games with just Jaylen Brown, and I don't want to call them scrubs, but Jaylen Brown and a bunch of 3-point spammers. So I think we'll see that same formula again, just with a full season of Tatum. And they'll probably win a ton of games just off of 3-point shot volume. Whether or not that's going to work in the playoffs, we'll see, but this is a regular season prediction. All right, so for the 2nd seed, I've got the Sixers. I think there are some concerns about how this group all fits together with all the ball handlers and Maxey and Jaylen Brown and LeBron now and Embiid. Like, how do they all play together? I don't think anyone knows that yet, but I think having all those guys is going to lead you to a lot of regular season success. Even if they struggle with injuries, I know LeBron's old and Embiid's injury prone, they'll have a ton of star power no matter what happens. I think that will easily get them to a top 2 seed. If they really do struggle with injuries, more guys get hurt than I thought they would, or they really don't mesh together well, I could see them dropping. But yeah, I think the 2nd seed is a pretty good spot for them. But I don't think they'll be able to capture that 1st seed, because, I mean, you can all guess who I've got in there. I got the Knicks. Yeah, I got the Knicks. I know they just had a long season. They went all the way to the finals and won, but they kept pretty much the entire group. And I don't know, I think they hit a new level in that playoffs. I don't think it was a fluke. I don't think they just caught fire and they'll come back down to earth at the start of next season. I think they really found a new way to play basketball with this team, because it wasn't them just getting hot and hitting a bunch of shots. Like, Cat unlocked a new aspect to his game. He was kind of like a point center. He played great defense again. So I think they'll be able to use that formula and translate it into regular season success. So I don't think this Knicks team is going to be like some regular season juggernaut and win almost 70 games, but yeah, definitely the 1st seed in the conference. So yeah, this is my Eastern Conference standings prediction. This is not a tier list of who's the most skilled team in the conference. This is just a standings prediction. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Leave a like if you like this video, and stay tuned for the Western Conference standings predictions, because that will be coming soon.